The following program may contain strong language and brief nudity. But don't get your hopes up. After all, this is public access TV. This program was made possible from the support of VSA Texas and Amerigroup.
Rise up, Amerigroup.
All set, Dave?
I'm ready, Gene.
I'm Gene,
And I'm Dave.
and we're the
Gene and Dave Show.
Well, Dave, another Southwest has come and gone.
It has. South by Southwest 2018 this time. And another good time, exciting time. Lots of people in Austin, Texas.
There really were, and it's you go to the convention center, and you feel the energy.
Oh yeah, the energy is all the way, all downtown, everywhere you go. Everybody's excited, and it's really cool to meet new people from all over the world come to South by Southwest.
Yeah, you hear the different dialects, the different languages, and it's it's just a really cool feeling. You come to the convention center, you see it surrounded by food trucks, and I found one truck I liked.
That's your favorite part, is the food trucks.
Food trucks. There's a gentleman, owner of Burger, which is a food truck, a guy named Vince, and he had me try their brisket burger.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Was it good?
It was great. It was super. You're gonna wanna search out Vince's truck whenever you're in downtown area, and then you see here's a picture of me outside by the marquee. It was, for the South by Southwest. It was a beautiful day, but years past has been a bit warmer.
Yeah. And last year it was rainy.
Rainy. Yeah. Then you get inside, you see the crowds.
Yeah, and here's a video of me navigating through the crowds, going 100 miles an hour. So that's always fun and exciting. See how many people I can try not to run over.
Did you avoid them all? Did you get through it
most of them, yeah,
Okay.
most of them.
Okay, great.
The other ones will be sending us an email shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah. And going through registration, this time I told them, well, here is a member of the press. They said, well, you go over here, get your badge. Got my badge. Then I had to go somewhere else to get my bag, and somewhere else to have the camera tag. But everyone was friendly enough there that we got through pretty quickly, so that was nice.
Yeah, some really great volunteers at South by Southwest this year, too. And I, recommend anybody that lives here in Austin, volunteer to be a helper at South by Southwest. There's a lot of different jobs. It takes a lot of people to kick this whole thing off, and by volunteering, they give you passes. So, volunteer.
It's well worth the exchange. Your time for what you can see there. Our videographer backed out shortly before the conference started, but you and I were ready.
And we were. Sometimes it's hard to tape our own show and be on both sides of the camera is next to impossible, but we found a way to do it.
Yeah, here's a shot of me and you with our cameras getting ready to take care of business. So here's we started going through the convention center. The first place I found is a place called Bonnie. It's a service that they provide you for people who are visually impaired. they log on to their website, to Bonnie's website, and someone there helps them navigate, or I should say, they're able to navigate through the hallways by voice over the by being connected to this website. So let's say
So they log into Bonnie, and Bonnie can show them where to go and tell them how to navigate through stuff via a camera or
yeah. Well, they've got
Sixth Sense.
they've got beacons set up in
Okay.
the building. So the beacons one might be at a cafeteria, one might be at the restrooms, and your GPS locator on your phone helps them determine exactly where you are
Ah,
in the
okay.
building. And so, yeah, they could guide you.
And it's
right
that
there.
accurate that they can do it within the building, huh?
It is, except if you're looking for a bathroom, you got to be careful you don't use, or you're using the right bathroom, because the men and the women's is right next to each other.
Right.
So you got to be careful of that.
I guess that's why they have the braille on the signs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they have the website for that is loudsteps.com and bonnieglobal.com. I spoke with Paul, who's the North American representative there, and he was telling me how it works. But it's definitely worth checking out those websites if you're having an event and you want to make that service available
Mhm.
to folks. If someone subscribes to that service, as soon as they come to the building, they get a notice that service
Oh, wow.
is available to them.
That'd be a
and-
great service to offer.
And then I introduced Ron Lucy to them,
Oh, okay.
and Hiram, who's with Nobility. So they were both interested in that.
Actually, Hiram is with MicroAssist and Nobility.
Oh, MicroAssist. and
MicroAssist, yeah. He's on
Okay.
the Nobility board, but another, great guy that knows a lot about accessibility.
Yeah. So they had a good chat. So I hope maybe we get that service in the Capitol. Then going along,
Because
we-
you never know when you need a Bonnie to help lead you the way.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We ran into Sharon with Nobility. We always look for the Nobility table.
That's right.
And they always have some sort of demonstration going on. This year we found Dave Chappelle over there. Dave has cerebral palsy. He has no speech, so he communicates through his computer,
Mm-hmm.
and he's able to communicate pretty well. And he's a fellow Clevelander, I might add.
Oh,
So,
okay.
he left the frozen north to come down here to Austin. But it was good to see Sharon and the folks there. I interviewed Sharon, and she was telling us about Nobility. If you're new to Nobility, KNOWABILITY, it's an organization that teaches folks how to make their websites accessible.
Right.
And PDF files and other things. But they've been doing it for a number of years. They teach classes on it. And in fact, this May, someone we know is teaching a class on captioning.
We will be.
The Gene and Dave Show, yeah. So you'll want to contact Nobility about that to learn how to have some fun with captions.
Actually, here's the web address where you can log in and see what Access U is all about and even register for the conference. It's a great time. I mean, if you ever want to know anything about accessibility, this is the place to go because there's people that come from all over the place to talk about legal, am I legal? If you've got questions like that, or what do I have to do to become legal? Because, the law is important, and if you're a business owner or running a company, even if it's a small non-profit, you want to make sure that you're accessible, not only with a ramp in the front door or a door opener or a bathroom with a door big enough, but all the digital aspects that go into it. Make sure your website's accessible and as Gene mentioned before, your PDFs that you produce. Make sure they're accessible too, so that people can use screen readers and other assistive technology to be able to read them.
And you know, Dave, if you're a small business, you want your customers to find you. And if you're, a lot of people don't know this, but if your website is accessible, in other words, if it's coded correctly so that people using, people with low vision or no vision can use the screen reader to see what's on the web page.
Right.
If the web page is coded correctly, it'll download quicker. So if you're in a parking lot somewhere and you're trying to find this business or information about a business, and it's taking forever to come up on your phone, you may have lost a customer.
Yeah, right.
But if the web page is accessible, pulls up quicker, it's just good business.
Yeah. John Slayton always said accessibility code is good code.
Mm.
So.
And he was a smart man, too.
Yes, yes.
So, you know, when we were talking to Sharon, James Green was there. Now, James Green is with Visa. He's also on the board of Nobility, and Visa does accessibility work
They
here
do.
in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to suggest to James that you and I should come over and take a look at their setup. So he's going to see if he can arrange that
Oh, wow. All right.
for us. So
Look for that in a future show of us
yeah.
at Visa. Are they
Yeah.
giving out cards too?
That's what I told him. When James applied to Visa, he didn't even have a Visa card at the time, but they hired him anyway. Anyway, some good folks down there, so it's good running into them. Let's see, we ran into a gentleman, I don't want to even attempt to pronounce his name, he's from Taiwan, but he had a company called Surglasses, SURGLASSES
Surglasses. Okay.
.com, and he was showing me a model of the brain and the spine, and he was saying, you know, if you've got a brain tumor, the doctors would rather not cut you open, but if that's
Sure.
the only way they can see what it is they've got to extract, then that's what's going to happen. But he developed some glasses that gives the surgeon a 3D view of what's going on. So
I had those in my comic books when I was a kid growing up. You know, on the
Yeah.
back cover, you put on those
Right.
X-ray vision glasses, and supposedly you can see the bones in your hand when you hold your hand up.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I've seen those before. Yeah, I got they're like $1.99, right?
These
Plus
are just,
shipping and handling.
right. These are just slightly more complex.
Ah, okay.
And yeah, he was showing me surgeon could just stick a probe into the head, and if it's a laser or whatever, he's got to cauterize something. Using these glasses, he can see exactly where the end of that probe is. And I was telling him, I've got kidney stones. Maybe my doctor could use that.
Yeah, there you go.
So again, technology at South by Southwest to help people with disabilities.
Surglasses.
Did you happen to see, you know, Dave, every year they seem to have a different theme at Southwest,
Mhm.
South by Southwest. They don't announce it ahead of time, but it's whatever's in vogue at the time. At one time it was 3D printers. This time I think it's robotics.
Robotics was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, virtual reality is
Oh yeah.
big right now too. But yeah,
Mhm.
definitely robotics.
We ran into a company called Cuckoo, Kuku, and they're wanting to get computers or robots to do more personal tasks
Yeah.
for people, and hoping that people will. Their vision is that someday everyone's going to have a personal computer, personal robot. Well, my
Everybody
thought,
will have their own R2D2 following them around.
yeah.
C3PO, right?
Well, my thought is, why not hook them up to Alexa? You know, Amazon's Echo, and you can say Alexa, make me a sandwich, crack me a beer, and these robotic arms would just do that.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Come over and feed it to you and pour the beer down your throat.
Yeah.
Then you can say, I'm drunk and it wasn't my fault. It was a computer malfunction.
Yeah, this picture here doesn't quite do the robotic arms justice, but yeah, they're getting small enough that you could get them in your home.
I always joke and always hope that someday there's going to be a robot that can be my attendant, actually help me get out of bed, get dressed, and the whole ball of wax. So that's the day I'm waiting for. I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, me too. If I want to stay up late, whatever, midnight, 1 o'clock,
Sure.
I could do that. Or if I want to get up early, 5 in the morning, could do that. That robot would be there to do that. A year ago, I wouldn't have imagined the progress that was made with Alexa and Amazon Echo.
Right.
But
And there's several other brands that are out there.
yeah, Google
and,
Home.
and Apple has their own home version too.
So this technology is developing rather quickly. Who knows? We may see a robot in my home next year.
Yeah, there you go.
Then, of course, in addition to all this high-tech stuff, we find, well, you never know what you're going to find there.
So you never know what you're going to find at South by Southwest. You know, they've got all the new age technology, robots and things like that. But then we went to a pretty fascinating presentation on, well, it was disability related. What was the title of that, Gene?
Oh, that was Sex, Beauty, and Women with Disabilities.
Yeah, I wonder why we would go to that one.
Yeah. well, to start with, it was our old friend Brittany
Right.
was there.
From ablethrive.com.
Yeah, we ran into Brittany a couple years ago, and some say she's stalking us. We might be stalking her. I don't know. But,
Right.
but we look for her every
We always
year.
seem to cross paths, and AbleThrive is a great website for finding out things about disability-related issues. If you have a disability or a loved one that's maybe just recently became disabled because of a car accident or something else, it's really a good. The object of the site is to show that people with disabilities can keep on going, similar to our show. So I think that's why we always cross paths, and she's a really cool person.
Yeah, Dave, we should submit something to that website. They're looking for snippets that people can send in, like, say someone that's a paraplegic, how to transfer from their wheelchair to a car.
Right, kind of instructional videos on how to deal with how other people, at least, deal with their disabilities and how they still get things done.
Yeah, great website, and let's make it a point to contribute to them
All right.
sometime.
Maybe let us know what your favorite thing is that you've seen on the Gene and Dave show, and we'll throw that at AbleThrive.
Yeah, and if you have questions how Dave and I do stuff, well, we'll answer that too.
Absolutely.
But Brittany was monitoring, or perhaps that's not the word, but
She was kind of the MC of the group,
yeah.
asking questions and delving deeper into them. She has a lot of different accessibility or different disability knowledge of a variety of disabilities. So she was able to really pinpoint on the issues and get information out of the women that were there.
Yeah, there were several women. One was blind. There was another woman in a, I believe she was a quad using an electric chair.
Mm-hmm.
And one woman with a, well, perhaps it was the same blind woman that had a seeing eye dog with her. But they give their different views on dating or how they're being treated by the general public. And I don't know, some of the questions people would ask them or tell them, you know, if if you weren't blind, I would date you or something like that.
Yeah. In fact, let's run a few of the highlights from that presentation.
As a YouTuber who has hundreds of thousands of people watching my videos, I get a lot of ignorant comments on a daily basis. Like, if you're blind, why do you even bother doing your makeup? Why do you like fashion if you can't see it? Is sex better because you're blind since your senses are heightened? Like, just these crazy things. And instead of getting frustrated at that, or frustrated at the comments, you don't look blind so you must be faking it, instead I use that as fuel to continue being passionate about educating and being passionate about being an open book and sharing things even if it's vulnerable and scary.
Go on.
I mean, a couple that I get almost on a daily basis is, "You're too pretty to be blind." Yeah, it drives me nuts. Or that "you're really pretty considering you're blind," as if disability, like, you're really attractive given you have this horrible situation that you have, like this big negative. I've had.
You know, Gene, the common theme that went along with that whole presentation was, the things that women with disabilities have to go through, and the things in their lives, and really, it's not much different than what other women have to go through. With all the sex scandals and things that are on the news right now. They people with disabilities kind of experience the same thing, although it's to a different degree. Most of these women that use wheelchairs or have other disabilities can be more vulnerable to attackers, so to speak.
Yeah, the one statistic that they mentioned was that 90% of the women that are sexually assaulted have a disability. And I
That's
think
way too many.
That's incredulous. It's and I could see how that could happen, but things have got to change. When we started our show years ago, I thought it was going to be just for people with disabilities. But when we look at analytics, we're finding it's by people in the general population.
Right.
And I hope you folks out there listening now just treat us like regular people, for God's sakes. And can't we just all get along?
Sure.
So that was a good panel. But speaking of sex, we at that same panel, a woman volunteered this information.
And someone from the audience came up with a question, right? Well, more of a statement than a question.
Mm-hmm. Her name is Deanna, and she said she makes sex toys for people with disabilities.
Oh, behave.
Very intriguing.
So I was interested, of course, and when, in the interest of research, I had to go to her website.
Sure,
to check it out.
had to research her website. Yeah, I get it, Gene.
And so we went to the itcollection.com, and how would you describe it? It's mostly just pillows that...
It's a wedge pillow that folds into different positions and helps you, or helps a person either get into a different position, or it will hold their sex toy for them, so that if you don't have arms, you don't have to hold it.
Yeah, and I thought...
And it works both for men and women.
And I thought this was pretty clever because and it just makes so much sense that a lot of people of different ages are no longer the spry, fit 19-year-old they were at one time, and could use a little bit of help with support, physical support. So, folks, check it out, the itcollection.com, and Deanna the website's really done well.
Yeah, we'd love to show you some videos here, but
It's
this is a family
show. Family show, folks. So let's see. Well, also, while we were downtown, we went to our favorite presentation every year, the Community Service Awards.
Oh, yes. Formerly known as the Dewey Awards.
Yep, the Dewey Awards after founding father of South by Southwest, Dewey. So the Community Service Awards are given to people who use technology in their community, well, to help people in their community. And we saw Glenda Sims was there. There's a picture of Glenda giving me a kiss. She can't resist me. It's not a very good picture, but Glenda Sims is an old friend of the show, and we're happy to see her.
Glenda the Good Witch.
Glenda the Good
Yeah,
Witch.
she is awesome.
Yep.
She's another person that if you ever have an accessibility issue, I recommend contacting her. She knows code backward and forward, and she works for a company called DQ that also helps big corporations ensure that their websites are accessible.
That's DEQUE.
That's right.
Yep. And
They also have some wonderful testing tools that you can purchase from them and use to test the website on your own. This is real important either when you're developing a new website or as you have a website that you make changes to. You want to make sure that you don't accidentally lose the accessibility that you've created.
a good point, Dave. And whenever you're designing a web page, keep accessibility in mind from the very beginning.
Absolutely, that's what I've learned for sure.
Don't make it an afterthought. Keep it in mind from the beginning. It's a lot easier to do that way. Let's see, Kathy Keller was at the Community Service Awards. Just good to see so many folks that are so concerned about the community. So we had a good time there, and that was at the Hilton. While we were at the Hilton, here's a picture of me in front of the safe. Had to make a withdrawal from the Gina Dave account
All right.
to pay for the on-screen talent we have.
Gee, I never got any of that.
You didn't get it?
Yeah.
Let me check on that.
Okay.
Let me
Please
check
do.
on that. There's for the Community Service Awards, there was a gentleman named Charhu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he developed something called Helper Bees, which is a service that matches attendants with people who, particularly seniors, that are looking for some type of attendant.
Yeah, and that's just up the road in Georgetown.
Oh, wow, okay. So that's something you might want to check out, Helper Bees. And then, of course, you spent some time on 6th Street. Was it, you got some good shots of, well, here's one of Antone's.
Yeah, I mean, it's just craziness on 6th Street, and I just love taking my camera down there and bringing it to you on the screen of some wacky times on 6th Street. So here's some ladies enjoying a little dance at a bar, and as I was filming them, the guitar player jumped up in the window and had to capture that too. So here's that clip.
And you've got a good shot from inside a hotel peering down onto the streets. I don't know how you find these places, but somehow you get some great shots.
Yeah, so you can see the hustle bustle around 6th Street, around South by Southwest. This was kind of one of the first few days, so it was a little slower than usual, and it wasn't dark yet, which is when everybody seems to come out on 6th Street. But still, you can see plenty of activity.
Now, speaking of activity, back in the convention center, You mentioned before the virtual reality
Right.
and such. Here's a animation video of someone. Someone was wearing some type of identifiers on his arms and legs, and those were matched up to a figure, a different figure, animated figure. So when he, say, jumped up and down, the animated figure would jump up and down.
Hi, as you can see, I'm controlling that guy with my back. Whatever I do, he will do it too. And when I speak, he speaks with my voice. Bye. Hey, come over. Do you know why bicycles go over? Why? Because they're too tired.
And the world of animation has just come so far.
Oh yeah.
With that, it was great to see. Here's a video of me with a big heart in front of me, and here's another one showing proof that the world does revolve around me. So so good. Used for entertainment, but in games, it's just come a long way. And if you get tired of the animations, there's plenty to drink around there. In fact, it's easier to find beer and wine and Deep Eddy vodka than it is water
Yeah.
at South by Southwest. And I met this gentleman from Ireland there, and they don't have little tables where you could set a glass down. So I told him I wanted to get a sample of Guinness, and I said, can you pull a straw out for me here? I always pack straws with me.
Uh huh.
Put it in there, and I said, I won't be long. I'll just chug the whole thing. And
So he held it for you while
he
you
held
put your
it for
straw
me
in there.
while I sucked it down, and they couldn't believe it. And I thought, oh, this is a great photo opportunity. So I said, oh, let me try it again, but let me get a photo. So they pulled out another beer. And I had to do that one. And
Well, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do for the good of the show.
exactly.
You know, might be drinking 2 or 3 beers.
So they made me an official Irishman.
Oh, okay. So now you're Irish.
Yeah. So that was great. Now you ran into a company, XD.
Yeah, so I saw this guy with this huge backpack on his back, and I was like, wow, what is this thing? And I immediately thought of like a jetpack that James Bond would wear. But it was a pack that was on his back, and you can see it here, and as you go up, you see all these little fans around him, and it actually, it'll lift you. I mean, you can't fly with it, but the prototypes that they were making, you can jump up and down. And I thought, what a great device for somebody that has a disability, who maybe they can move their legs, but they can't stand up unless, if they put this backpack on, then, the fans could lift them up into like a standing position. So I thought, well, this is just a harebrained idea that I would have because I have a disability that could, benefit from something like that. So, being part of the Gene and Dave show, I went and asked him. And sure enough, that's one of the design principles behind it. One of the reasons that they're doing it is to help people with disabilities.
Wow, okay. Lots of times we'll talk to the vendors. Sometimes they have products made specifically for people with disabilities. Sometimes they just have products
That are made for lazy people.
yes. And we might say, if someone with a disability had this, it could really make their life easier.
Right. A
And
couple
they
of years
say,
ago, we found the headphones that were
Oh,
really
yeah.
easy to work with,
Yeah.
with your hand. You didn't have to use a finger into a small button. It was like the whole side of the headphone. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great that we were able to have these conversations with folks, see what they're thinking, and to make companies aware that we are a force in the community and we
Sure.
have needs. And
We're out there. People with disabilities are out there.
we in your neighborhood. So yeah.
Yeah.
And the one sad thing is, Dave, that there were so many good presentations specifically about people with disabilities or for people
Right.
with disabilities that were held at the same time. And we couldn't go,
You can't
Couldn't
be in two places at once, or
Right.
3 places, or 4
Yeah.
places.
or they started early in the morning and we just couldn't get to them. So we missed a number of them. But if you've got a program, a business that can benefit folks with disabilities, we would love to hear about it, and we might even have you on the show here.
Yeah, that'd be great. The more the merrier, and the more information that we can get out to folks. That's what we're here for. That's what the show is all about. We thank you for tuning in, and as always, check out thegeneanddaveshow.com to find more videos, outtakes, and news stories about people with disabilities.
So long, folks.
Bye, folks.
Adios.